My dear, the expert said your soul doesn't crave love, it is love. I asked what you truly are. They whispered, a lesson dressed like a miracle. They warned, loving you comes with a cost. I smiled, already bankrupt. The expert called you danger in disguise. My heart disagreed. They said you destroy and rebuild hearts without even knowing. I showed them your photo. They closed their eyes and prayed. You're still addicted? They asked. I nodded. My veins only know you. They said you're not human, just unfinished poetry. The expert asked if you ever meant to heal me or haunt me. They warned me, you'll never recover from someone like that. The expert didn't speak. They just cried after hearing your name. They called you a beautiful chaos only old souls understand. I asked if I should stay. They asked if I enjoy drowning. They looked at your energy and said, run. I stayed. The expert told me they're unforgettable because they're made of all your missing pieces. They said you're the storm people pray for in droughts, then regret. They studied your silence. It's screaming everything they can't say. The expert said you're like fire, warm, but eventually fatal. They said you enter lives to expose their cracks. That one, they said, will test your soul, not just your heart. I asked what your presence meant. They replied, an unfinished lifetime. The expert smiled. Ah, you found that kind of soul. They called you karmic, like a mirror with consequences. They traced your name in ash. Rebirth always follows ruin. This one's a portal, they whispered, to a version of you you've never met. They said you're the ache people mistake for destiny. I asked if it's safe to love you. They said, not if you want peace. The expert warned me, they don't love, they awaken. They called you the chapter every heart skips, yet rereads. I asked if you'd return. They looked at me with pity. They're not done breaking you, they said softly. The expert asked, have they touched your soul or torn it? They said loving you is like hugging a ghost who still haunts. They said your kind of love lives in ruins and poems. The expert paused. You met the one who rewrites your silence. I asked if this pain ends, not if they're unforgettable. They warned, you'll beg for their absence, then ache when it arrives. Love them, they said, but don't expect to be whole again. They looked at my scars and whispered, that's their signature. They didn't mean to destroy you, the expert said, but they did. They said you carry other people's hearts like you're unaware they bleed. I asked if you're rare. They said, "No, just dangerous." The expert told me you speak in wounds, not words. They read your soul. It's written in heartbreak. They called you a poem the universe regrets writing. That person, they said, knows how to make pain feel like worship. They warned, you'll never feel normal after loving them. The expert didn't flinch. Oh, them, they belong to no one. I asked what to do. They said, mourn, then write. They said you carry silence like it's sacred. The expert told me, you don't miss them. You miss the way you disappeared inside them. They called you a ghost that breathes. They awaken people, then vanish, they said. I asked if it was real. The most real things break us. They're not cruel, they said, just unfinished. The expert asked, do you love them or the wound they gave you? They said your name unlocks grief and desire in the same breath. They saw your energy and cried. I asked why it hurts. They said, because it mattered. This soul, they said, lives between apology and oblivion. They called you the one hearts don't recover from. They didn't mean forever, the expert told me, but your soul did. They looked at my silence and said, that's how you love them. Loving them is like remembering pain before it even begins. They saw my eyes. Oh, they said, you've met that kind of person. I asked if you'll ever return. They said, only in dreams. Let them go, they said, or lose yourself in them. They asked, are you healed or are you hiding behind the ache? They warned, this love asks for your soul, not just your time. I asked if it's obsession. No, they said, it's remembrance. That one loves like fire, but forgets like ice. The expert whispered, their silence is a test, not an ending. They said, you'll never meet another heartbreak like this. I asked why I still crave you. Because the wound still sings. They looked at your messages and said, that's not love, that's a spell. They're a soul contract, not a soulmate. They saw you and said, you're their karma in a beautiful form. That kind of love asks who you were before it ruined you. The expert cried and said, some people are just written into you. If this touched your soul, don't scroll, like, comment your favorite quote, and subscribe for more. They said your love language is distance, but your eyes say regret. They vanished to teach you what presence feels like. The expert said, you're not in love, you're in survival. Some souls come to break every version of you you loved. They warned, this one's love feels like exile. You mistake their chaos for passion, they said. They kissed your wounds, then reopened them with silence. I asked if I was delusional, only about them. They said your goodbye was a beginning in disguise. They don't love like humans, the expert whispered. They told me you carry other lifetimes in your gaze. That one leaves fingerprints on your next life. Loving them rewrites your past, they said. They came to end every lie you told yourself. They're not yours. They were your lesson. The expert saw your soul and said, "This one bends time. You'll speak of them long after the pain ends. Some loves haunt softer than silence. They are your mirror. That's why it hurts." The expert closed their eyes and said, "They'll never truly leave you." They said your love isn't soft, it's sacred punishment. You didn't meet them by accident, they warned. You summoned them. The expert saw your name and asked, "Are you still surviving that love?" That soul writes sorrow like scripture, they said. They came to break patterns, not hearts. I asked why I miss you. They said, "Because you still belong to the wound." The expert whispered, "They're unforgettable because they're unfinished." They weren't love, they were revelation. They left so you could find the pieces you gave them. You're not in love, you're haunted, they said. They won't come back, but their echo will. The expert didn't flinch. That soul carries storms. They didn't destroy you, they said. They activated you. You still hear their silence, don't you? They were your awakening, not your ending. You didn't fall in love. You remembered them. Their presence cracked your soul open, they said. The expert saw my tears. Still loving them in silence? They touched something no one else found. That's the kind of love that doesn't forgive. They're a sacred ache, the expert sighed. They didn't ghost you. They fulfilled their purpose. They didn't mean to hurt you. They meant to reveal you. Their absence is the loudest truth, they said. You don't need closure. You need detachment. The expert asked, "Do you want them or the memory of them?" That one doesn't return. They echo. You became poetry after them. You'll find peace, but never forget. You still wear them in your silence. That love changed your soul's architecture. They weren't your future. They were your mirror. They taught you what you thought was love. They carved a home in your grief. They left fingerprints on your healing. Your heart still speaks their language. They were never here to stay, just to shift. They didn't ghost. They transformed. Their energy still sleeps in your skin. They made you believe love was a lesson. You still flinch at their memory, don't you? That wasn't love. That was a cosmic collision. You weren't meant to keep them, just to awaken from them. You survived something divine and destructive. That soul kissed you, then buried you. Their absence feels like a scream. They unlocked grief like it was destiny. They didn't leave, they became myth. You met someone your soul still kneels for. You loved them past logic. They made heartbreak feel like prophecy. Their love left a crack in time. They weren't just a person, they were a turning point. You carry them like a prayer. They arrived as fate, left as a test. They didn't love you quietly. They made the pain feel poetic. You still write like they'll read it. Their goodbye wasn't an end, it was an initiation. They didn't take your heart, they left you with its echo.